Hey everyone, it's Mike coming in from Cavill. If you're watching this video, we always focus on our videos and how we can help you in your business to get your people right. Whether you're a manager, whether you're an owner, ops manager, director, finance manager, CFO, CEO, it doesn't really matter. We're here to help you to get the people element of your business correct. And that means I want to, what we're talking about today, I want to try and actually just crystallize exactly what I mean by that. So what does that statement about get your people right mean? Well, there's two elements to that. So one is, do you know what? We're all, whether you're in a charity, whether you're in a profit business, whatever the case may be, we're all here to look to progress that organization. We're all here to be pragmatic. We're here to achieve something. There's a purpose, whether it's manufacturing widgets, whether it's getting people from A to B across the English Channel, whether it's, helping and supporting individuals with their marketing, whether you're supporting patients, whatever the nature of your business, there's a mission, there's a goal, there's something that's there that's driving you to be there today, right now, doing what you're looking to do. So we want to be pragmatic to make sure that the people in your business are the right people, adapt and create and support the right culture, that we can increase productivity within your organization. But there's another side to that. And the other side is we are here, and our mission, by the way, through everything, is to create an environment that people want to belong to. And that's the flip side of this. This is the really important part. So people have a right in today's day and age. They just do have a right. It's morally correct to have a place to work in that you want to be a part of. And the reason for that is because life is too short. It's just too short for anything else. In the sense of that, what we mean is, roughly on average for a full-time employee, 30% of all of the time you're awake is spent at work with the people that you work with, more so than the people that in your family, the people that you live with, or your friends. You'll be spending more time with the people at work, your working environment. So if you're miserable there, you don't like that environment, or if your manager is a bad manager and makes you feel depressed, the environment makes you feel depressed, well, guess what? It means that the majority of your life, whilst you're awake, you're depressed. Life's too damn short for that to happen. So when we talk about getting your people right, we talk about it from both sides of that coin. And that's a critical thing. And the reason that I'm doing this video today is because I think just like pretty much everybody who's heard this news lately about P&O is pretty damn outraged by how that process has been managed. And coming from, obviously, we're an HR specialist, expert support service company here to help and support businesses with issues similar to what P&O had done. But we would never work or operate with an organization that wants to enact it in the way that they've done. A, because actually it's just not lawful. It's not right not to consult with your people. And B, it's morally unethical. It's just not part of what we would stand for. We'd never want our name associated with anything like that whatsoever. But I think, in terms of things, for me, it raises a valuable lesson and learning curve for all of us. Not just businesses that unfortunately are looking or stuck in that situation where you're looking to potentially make redundancies, or maybe if you're looking to do TUPE or something along those sort of lines. There's a lot of lessons to be learned on what to do and not to do here. But I think sometimes we can get kind of misled by some of the facts, some of the information as well as to what is right and what's wrong. I think, personally, a lot of people mentioning about the Zoom call, the fact that it was pre-recorded, the fact that obviously it went out so short before people were actually dismissed. There's a number of different issues with that. I think, in today's day and age, having consultations and doing meetings like that over Zoom, that's not really my bulk of my issue. The bulk of my issue is the fact that it's pre-recorded. There's no opportunity for anybody to raise a concern, ask any questions, seek for clarification. There's no personal touch to that whatsoever. It's a cop out. It's a farce. It's a joke. It's embarrassing because basically it's a wimp way out because you don't want to be challenged. I'll pre-record it so we can try and make sure that the message is on point, but then there's no opportunity to ask any questions thereafter. Look, I get you're in a difficult situation. I get that potentially you're saying that the business is not financially viable in its current structure. But the problem didn't start the day you started to do the redundancies. That problem occurred years ago when you started to agree to pay on these terms and conditions. And that would have been your fault and responsibility for putting that in place, not the people who accepted it and started working for you. And I'm pretty sure that the evidence of the concerns around that wouldn't have just suddenly popped up yesterday afternoon. It would have been there for years in advance. So the problem and the fault with that comes heavily back to the board, to the managers, the senior managers involved within the organization have allowed that to occur in that particular way. That's part of getting your people right. I mean, at the end of the day, you've got to be pragmatic and get the structure of your business set up appropriately. If you've not done that, then fall on you. You know, that's your fault and your responsibility. It's for damn sure not your staff. But to do the pre-recording, that's not right. That's not appropriate. To do it over Zoom, that works. I don't have a problem with that. We do consultations that way a lot, especially for organizations that are across multiple sites, starting a consultation simultaneously, but it would never be pre-recorded. I think the other part is the fact that it's happened at short notice, and they've not done any consultation. I mean, consultation, you are legally bound to do meaningful consultation, by the way, not just to consult. And especially in a unionized environment with recognized trade unions in place, they should have had some kind of oversight of what was coming up. But it seems to me as though they've been lumbered in with everybody else and found out 40 minutes before everyone was dismissed that this was occurring. They should have been involved as a collective kind of arrangement on that. That's what they have in place. So they've not bound by that either. And I think that's just it's not fair in today's day and age. People are an asset in a business. They're the biggest asset, and they're finding this out at the moment at P&O. But people are the biggest asset in your business. They're the most expensive asset in your business. They're the most complex asset in your business, and they're the most legally bound asset in your business. This isn't just like disposing of a bad printer. This isn't just getting rid of one boat because it's not working very well anymore, and you're going to purchase a new one or a hovercraft or whatever the hell you're going to go move to. It's not an innate object. These are human beings. They have families. They have children. A lot of these employees are actually living on the boats. That is their home. So by taking that away at 40 minutes notice, you're actually not only taking away someone's job, you're simultaneously making them homeless at the same time. You're taking away their employment, their source of income, and you're taking the roof over their head at the same time. And you're doing it in a way that doesn't provide them with any clarification, no consultation, no ability to raise any comments or concerns about anything whatsoever. And it is just outright breaking the law around these processes and procedures. And I hope to God that the RMT union are going to look to take this further. I'm not a unionized man. I don't fly on that side of the spectrum. I believe in the aspects that people have, like I just said, a right to work in an environment they want to belong to, and that there's a particular way that you should treat people with respect, regardless of whatever's going on, whatever those complications. Everybody deserves to be able to be treated, especially through such difficult things like redundancy, in a better way than what they've done. But I hope and support wholeheartedly that there should be something that should be taken forward, not only because of the people that have been impacted by this and that they should receive some recompense. This should come with a cost implication, for sure, a large one for P&O ferries. It absolutely should do. And whether that's going to be viable, who knows, right? But at the end of the day, that should happen, but not just for that and not just for those people, but to actually show a sign that actually this is not the way to act as a business in these set of circumstances moving forward. No other business should look at that model and go, I think they may have got it right. I mean, I can't remember who the company were now in America, the mortgage company. And they did it to like over 800 odd staff as well over a Zoom call, let them go like that off they were. And the guy saying, oh, woe is me. It's so horrible. I hate doing these things. Last time I did it, it didn't go so well. And I felt so upset by it. It was like, you're not in the real world, mate. Because, I mean, you're upset, but you got your job and you're getting your paycheck at the end of the month. And these poor people, they've just been ruthlessly shafted by you. So no one has any cause for compassion for yourself. But do you know what? At least that guy did it live. You know, at least he had the general courtesy to do it live. I'm not saying it was right, but at least he did it live, for God's sake. I mean, these people, they've pre-recorded it and stuck it out there for people to kind of just find out their severe fate. So, you know, all at that time. And also the fact, like I said, it impacts on their living situation as well as their job, their career, their income that they get in every month. It's just not suitable. So I think there's a couple of things there. For me, the question I've been asked already is it right that you should do that without consultation? No, it's not. There's a legal requirement for you to consult, especially when you're doing redundancies that impact on more than 90 people. There's significant, it's there, it's in the law, that you should be going through a process of consultation. Is it right the RMT or the unions involved didn't know about it? No, it's not. They've got collective agreements in place. They should be part of this process. They should have known about this, not finding out without everybody else, and probably would have given us some steer that, this is cataclysmic. You cannot do it in this particular way. Now, I mean, the other thing is, are they wrong to do it over Zoom? No, I don't believe that. In today's day and age, people have a problem with the fact it's being done over Zoom. It is the day and age that we are in, especially when we've been going through the stuff around COVID and not being able to do collective kind of consultations with groups of people in one place simultaneously. It's the way the world has gone. Do I believe he should have done it, pre-recorded? No. And the fact that he's not consulted means no one's had any opportunity to ask any questions, get any clarifications, raise any further points or other ways. Is he saying, by the way, that they have to do this? They've been bailed out by their Dubai company that owns them. I can't remember off the top of my head who that is, who they are, but they've been bailed out by them. Clearly, they've withdrawn the credit card and said, "Not again, thank you very much. We won't do that." So they've got to get their house in order, get their ship in order, right? So they've got to get all that sorted. So I agree with the fact that there's a business principle, but there could have been a different way of doing it. There could have been a different way than making 800 people redundant. They could have looked at things like potentially people reducing working hours. Perhaps they could have looked at people potentially being able to reduce their pay and actually consulted on that as well. There's a whole raft of different things that wouldn't have led to people losing their jobs or their home or their livelihoods if they've trained so hard on. There are different ways of doing it. And then there's the second part, not doing my own massive. The last part as well involved here is, well, then they're bringing in this cheaper workforce, right? So they've done it in this particular way. And now they're bringing in these other people, the hiring and refiring process. And I think that there's a degree of that I just don't. I think there are other ways to skin a cat. Is the grand scheme of thing. Morally, it's a kick in the teeth. There's no doubt about that, and I don't think it's something that we should be looking to support in business moving forward. I think that world of things is a bygone era. I don't think that has a place in today's business world. And I think in actual fact, there are different ways. Like I just said, you could have actually consulted with people and given them an opportunity to come back with some other options or alternatives that could have been taken forward. The union to consider different options as to how they could have achieved what savings they need to make. We don't even know what those level of savings are, neither do the staff and neither do the unions. But there could have been other ways. And the reason for that is not just, again, like I said, we look at this from both sides. We're looking at the pragmatism. You've got a business here. You've got to run a business. A business like P&O, it can't survive running a loss every year. I mean, as I understand it from the joke, from what I've heard from the unions, is what shipping business does make profit. But the point is you're there for a particular purpose, right? So you need to be pragmatic to be able to achieve that. But equally, you've got to treat people with respect in the right and appropriate ways. And there's ways of doing that. What they've chosen hasn't done that. But what I would argue is from the pragmatic side, not necessarily the moral human side, but from the pragmatic business side, how's this going to spin well for P&O? So as far as I can see, if they've got government contracts, they're potentially going to be at risk. Depending on if the government take that forward or look to restrict those in any particular way. Who's going to want to support and use P&O? The people, bless them, that are coming in, that have been brought in, shipped in as cheaper labor, who are going on there. It's not their fault that they're being brought into that situation. That's the business, but they're going to get hamstrung for that too. I think who's going to want to go and work with them in the future? How are you going to, would you want to go and put yourself in a situation where you're living in their accommodation on their boat for a majority of your time? You're working with them and you've got no security that your contract of employment means anything at all. Because they could just rip it up and shred it and get rid of you there and then, regardless of what the consequences are. They're going to find it pretty hard. I would actually suffice to go get people to work for them. And if I were one of those people that is coming on the cheaper labor kind of side of things, I would heavily be going, how secure am I? Because look, they've just done to these guys, right? I mean, I would not trust that company as far as you could throw it. And I think in actual fact, they're going to get a really bad reputation. And the problem with that is things like reputation, trust, they take forever to build. And literally, as we saw yesterday, it's seconds to destroy. And therefore, for them being able to build this back up from a pragmatic side of things, absolutely, I think this is going to have a grave impact on that business. For sure. I mean, if they're struggling now, as they are right now, how are they going to cope moving forward? Because who's going to want to have to use that service? And sometimes, okay, you might not have any other alternative, but if you did, people are probably going to vote with their feet. That's the general way of this works with people. If you're not happy at a restaurant, the majority of people don't complain. The majority of people just don't go back. And it's going to be exactly the same with this particular process. I think this is going to be a downward spiral at the moment in time for P&O. Because I think they'll find it hard to keep and attract staff following this process. I think they're going to find it hard to actually get the business to scale up, to get the business to move forward, to achieve what it's actually there to achieve, because people aren't going to be willing and trusting to use it. The brand image has been absolutely put through the runner. I mean, it's not going to stand up. So I think what they've done, and there may be reasons, and there probably are financial reasons as to why it had to happen so suddenly and so recently. But like I said, they would have known about that probably over the previous 2-4 years. This isn't new. It's not news. They've just delayed doing anything until the point of no return. They had to press a button and do something, in which case it's not the staff's fault, that's your fault. But I think personally that what they've started yesterday is probably a big downward spiral for that company. And will it survive that? I just don't think that's going to go. It's not going to float very well, right? So I think they're onto a massive problem with that. And I think there's a number of lessons. So one is the importance to actually remember there's human beings in the center of this. You may have a pragmatic business decision, and sometimes you have to make crap decisions. You have to deliver some shit news to people, and it's just a horrible thing, but it's part of life that it has to happen. And sometimes you have to do that. And you can't back down from that. but there are ways of doing it. There are ways of sympathetically delivering that news. There's ways of involving people within actually building what's going to happen next. And consultation, not only is it a legal must to have, even if you're impacting on just one employee, you have a responsibility to consult, right? So at the end of the day, I don't think that they followed that. So the one lesson is absolutely to make sure you are consulting with your staff. There is a human touch to this. There is a moral obligation to it too. And that actually you're taking care of the fact that these are human beings that you're dealing with, not just innate objects that don't have feelings or emotions or families or homes or bills or things along those sort of lines that I have to consider. And I think in actual fact, when you do that, there's a whole litany of other things that you should do underneath that, such as things like consultation papers, writing to staff, involving trade unions if you have recognized trade unions in your business with collective agreements, going through all those principled steps, which, by the way, are not only in law, but also in the ACAS Code of Conduct of what we should be looking to do. Those should be upheld 100%. And I think for any business who unfortunately is going through maybe something similar to this, maybe looking to have to downsize to try and actually get themselves onto some kind of level footing, there's a better way of doing it, and one that isn't going to tarnish your brand image, isn't going to be morally indefensible and legally indefensible. And that's the learning lesson from this, is if you're going to go through this process, don't do P&O. Don't do that. Look, guys, as always, we're here to help you to get your people right. Like I said, at the moment in time, we've just recently launched one of our new services, which is, I can't believe how good it is. I'm really happy with it. Every week, every month, the service grows, which means the value proposition within that service grows astronomically over the course of the next 12 months. And you can get access to our HR Lite service right now. The link is in the description below. So you can access that service. It's only £197 plus VAT per month. And before you kind of squirm at that proposition, I just want to let you know that that comes with, if you bought all the elements that are involved in that as it is today separately, it would cost you over £20,000. So when you put that into that reality, you're saving, over the course of 12 months, something like 90%, which is insane on the value of what you're actually getting. And bearing in mind the value proposition of that, like I just said, over the course of that year, it's going to go up. So it's a fantastic service. So for you who are a smaller business, employing staff, needing access to things like contracts, handbooks, policies, procedures, calculators as to how to work out annual leave, training for you and your managers on how to get your people right, and how to manage them right, how not to be like P&O, how to do things differently, and how to have some respect and courtesy for people in your working environment, and building an environment that people want to be a part of. This is for you. You also get access to expert HR support and advice through ourselves as well on a monthly basis, should you need it. And this is our lowest entry point for smaller businesses to kind of come in, so we can start helping as many businesses as we can. Like I told you, and it's sincere, we are on a mission to help and support all businesses. Bold and underline that, all businesses, to have working environments that people want to belong to. That's better for your business. That equals more productivity, more profitability, and it's a better environment for your people to come and be in on that time that they're going to be with you, right? So please check it out. It's 30-day money back guarantee on that as well. So get in, have a look, start doing some of the training on that. We've got a new training session that's coming up on the 31st of this month, which will be in the management triangle, which you can go to live. And you can also come onto the portal and complete that training in your own time and get your certificate on that as well. So it's a great service. Come and check that out. In the meantime, we'll be on here live every week, helping you to get your people right every Thursday. Try and say lunchtimes, but it's been varying of late. And of course, I think in a couple of weeks' time, it'll probably be on a Wednesday because the training course is on a Thursday. So, so come and check that out. Let me know your feedback. Let me know in the comments as well, by the way. I'm throwing everything at you at the last minute here, so this is probably really rubbish to do at the end of a video. So learning curve and notes to self. But leave any comments below, on any things, issues around your people and staff and your business you'd like to learn more about, that you think would be helpful to you. Let me know, because we're always looking to do more on that and taking on board the areas of concerns that you're experiencing right now, your pain points, so we can offer up some of our free training that we do every week on a Thursday. And you can come and check that out. So let me know in the comments below. Other than that, please check out other videos which could be posted around here that could be of interest to you. Have a great weekend, and I'll speak to you soon. Take care, everyone.